Adam, a week before Christmas, at the end of last year, you took delivery of this new SR38 machine from Star. Why did you buy it?
Purely for extra capacity, the extra bar capacity that we can get on the machine. We can go up to 42mm diameter in non-guide bush mode, which is a very big advantage over the current 32mm that we use on our other machines.
And are you doing that? Are you going up to that bar diameter?
The biggest diameter I put is 1.5/8" at the moment, so just under that diameter, yeah.
Now, the bar diameter couldn't have been the only reason, could it, for this machine? Because there's some other, this is a Type B, so you've got a B axis. Was that partially responsible or part of the decision as well?
Part of the reason, yes, there's the B axis, so I can do angled cross milling and drilling, but I can also use the B axis for front working and back working also. And the other big selling point for me was the Y2 axis on the back, which means I can get 8 back working tools working on the backside independently.
So we've got bigger bar capacity than what you were used to. We've got more tools and we've got more flexibility as a result of the B axis.
Yes, it's a cracking machine for the money, and I'm really impressed with it, to be honest, at the moment.
So before this SR38 machine, what other machines had you got from Star, and when did you first buy one, and what are they?
We purchased our first Star machine in July 2007. It's a Star SR20R3, 20mm capacity, and it was bought just to free up capacity on our fixed head lathes, as we were looking at the batch sizes, which were increasing and increasing, so we needed the extra capacity through the workshop to run lights out 24/7.
And did that serve its purpose?
It did for about the first 9 months, and then we soon realised that we needed a larger machine and more capacity to go with the 20mm.
And that's when your 32 came into play?
Yeah, and that's when we bought our SR32J in June 2008.
And that was the first of two machines, because then you bought a second one?
Yes, we've got two 32Js running. We can run the same parts on both machines, even though there is 8 years difference between them.
Is there a lot of difference between the first Star machine and then, let's say, for example, the latest SR38? Technology moves on, so have you seen the evidence of that?
Yes, we have. Tool settings a lot easier on the new machines. There's programs written into the machines to bring the tools down to the bar diameter a lot quicker than what you used to have to manually insert the tools. And if anything, it takes a lot of operator error out of the equation as well.
Let's talk about productivity and how many hours these machines are running here for you.
We run the machines a minimum of 14.5 hours a day. We start work at 7 o'clock in the morning, and we come in at 7:30 at night just to check them. If the jobs are suitable to run through the night, we leave them run through. If not, we auto shut them off at 9:30 at night.
You're a pretty efficient machining company then?
Yes, we are. I run and set all the machines myself and do all the office work as well. So I'm pretty much a one-stop shop on the sliding edge section.
And what parts are you actually making, Adam, on this selection of machines?
We vary from hydraulic sector to fire suppression components, all the way through to parts for musical instruments.
Oh, really? Right. And are some of the parts complicated, or are they fairly straightforward?
A lot of the parts are medium to straightforward to medium complexity, but we do take on the more taxing parts as well, especially on the SR38.
And with making any component, accuracy is a big part. Are these Star machines producing precision parts for you?
Yes, they produce very high precision parts with little or no movement across any of the diameters for long periods of time.
Yeah, what would you be working towards, or what would you be working to achieve on some of your components? Give us an example of maybe one of your tightest tolerances of parts.
One of the components I produce 2 to 3 times a year has 3 diameters, which we previously did grind all the diameters, but I do hold them to plus or minus 6 microns across all 3.
And for you, would it matter what material that you're actually machining when it comes to holding tolerances?
I would say currently 80% of the work that we produce on our Stars is stainless steel. So I do feel that we are specialising more in that, in the stainless and non-ferrous sector.
And what's quite intriguing as well these days about running this type of technology, sliding head machines, is the cutting fluids that you're using. What do you adopt here?
We use a neat cutting fluid, 12 viscosity, especially for the high pressure coolant on this machine.
Why did you take that route as opposed to solubles?
Purely because it's the more or less the given thing that everyone does run the neat oil on the sliding head machines. It keeps everything lubricated, keeps the slides lubricated, and more importantly, floods the parts in coolant to keep them cool.
How do you go about programming these, Adam?
I use the Star NC Assist software to program the machines.
So you're doing that offline?
Do it all offline and then transferred by memory card or USB stick.
And does it matter that you've got older machines as well? Like, for example, your first machine that you bought in 2007 or 2008. Can you still use that software to make those machines run?
Yes, the software goes across all the machines that I've got in my factory. Yes, and the programming structure is that similar that you can chop and change all parts.
Coming back to the SR38, how many tools has this machine got?
There's in excess of 30 tools on there.
Wow, that gives you a lot of flexibility, doesn't it? What about the actual speed of things like the driven tools as well? What can they go up to?
They go up to 6,000 RPM. And one of the parts I've recently been running on the machine, I did have 22 tools running in one go.
22 tools at once?
22 tools
On one job?
On one job in a cycle time of just under 8 minutes.
Really? Okay. How would you have made that without all those tools, and how long would it have taken? That just shows how quick this machine can be.
I hate to think how long it would take to make the part manually.
Tell our viewers this other story, because I like this one. Recently you had a requirement to get an urgent job through the machine shop, didn't you? And what did you do?
Basically, I had to do a run of several thousand parts over the Easter weekend, and I ran all 4 machines on the same job 24/7.
So you ran the same job on all machines 24/7 to get it out the door?
Yeah, and Kath at Star, she sorted the collets out, got them specially ground out as quickly as she could for me, and then the parts were ready on the Tuesday for plating.
And if you hadn't have been able to do all the parts on these same machines, that would have given you a real problem.
Yeah, we'd have been looking at about 16 to 20 days production altogether.
Tell us a little bit about Star, in your opinion. You're obviously a big fan. You just mentioned Kath there, spare parts, support. What do you think about them?
I think they're a great company to deal with. I always get the right answers on the phone. If I need any help, they're always there, ready and waiting to give you help, advice. Spare parts, you can phone up one day and 99 times out of 100 it's there on your desk by 9 o'clock in the morning.
Final question to you. I can understand once you have one machine of a certain brand, you maybe want continuity to buy more. But that first one's always the biggest decision. Why was Star selected by you?
Well, we're a small company, and taking the leap from second-hand fixed heads up to brand new sliding head machine, it was a big jump for us. But the support that we got from Star, from initial quote all the way through to running the parts off the machine, was second to none.